presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day. Tom takes your phone calls toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Let's go to John in Orlando. Hey, John, what's going on, brother?
Hey, Tom. Good afternoon to you. How are you?
I'm doing great, man.
I want to thank you, first of all, before I ask you about the stock. You and the board and all the gang at TFNN. I had a really, really good year after the October call you guys made. My 401k is up 72%.
Congratulations, man.
A couple of things I made with Coinbase and other stocks that I made, and I've had a good year.
And we appreciate you growling and prowling with us, man. That's a beautiful thing.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
What's going on, everyone? This is Jacob Shoup filling in for Tom O'Brien. I hope you all are having a great day. Let's take a look at what we've got going on in the markets right now. Kind of sideways, all right? Obviously, we have some big economic data coming out tomorrow with CPI. We have earnings in Home Depot. We have Barrick coming out with earnings today as well. Let's take a look at what we got going on. We have E-mini kind of sideways right now. Get this off the yearly. Yeah, again, you have, you have big bars in green on low volume. Your big bars red are high volume, okay? So it looks like we're probably going to be moving a little bit sideways. Tomorrow can be strange, right? We're in this interesting kind of window right now, right? If CPI comes out and it shows that there's still persistent inflation, you get maybe some sideways movement to downward. Let's say that inflation is coming down very heavily. Maybe that impacts other things that might suggest that, hey, this is a little bit too strong for too long. What if we increase the risk of a recession here? That can send the market down as well. So we really are looking for a very stable kind of data tomorrow. And if we achieve that, that probably means you'll have interest rates coming down in September, and that's going to cause a little bit of rally in the market, I would assume. It usually does something along those lines, but as it stands today, this is a lot of sideways movement really on the average, right? And I think we're all kind of waiting to see what comes out tomorrow. And take a look at the Russell. We're off about 0.95%. The NQs, so sideways on that. The composite is up about 0.17%. The Dow futures down about 0.53%, and the Dow Jones Industrial itself down about 0.48%. Now, gold is having okay time right now, about 1.5%, trading at 2,510. Some nice volume to the upside here at the open, and we're just kind of cruising along that level. I mean, really pushing through that 2,500 on some decent volume as well. Make it a retest of that 2,500. Remains to be seen. We have Franco-Nevada as well. We have Barrick today. Goldfields is looking to buy. Let's see if we have any other gold this week at all. But this is some nice response, right, from gold. Let me see here. We have Cisco on Wednesday. That's going to be pretty interesting as well to read. So they've fired a bunch of people in their networking segment, bringing people over into cybersecurity and AI as well, which is an interesting kind of positioning for them. You have Walmart on Thursday, Baba on Thursday as well, John Deere, Applied Materials. Yeah, it's an interesting week for earnings for sure. And Home Depot will be telling as well. Let's take a look. We have crude oil popping up 3.77%. You have OPEC coming out a little bit. We're going to talk all about this. Do the kind of the cover all in the beginning. You have OPEC going to be decreasing output, saying that there's lesser demand coming from China. We have a ton of oil here, but it seems like that might be getting strained a little bit. And then, of course, we just moved a bunch of war capabilities into the Middle East as well due to an impending attack from Iran on Israel. We'll see if that manifests in any serious way. You have Tesla off about 1.08%. Steel Dynamics itself down 2.76%. And then the dollar completely sideways as it stands. Still bouncing off that 103.10 area, wants to get lower, and we'll see if we can. Meta off about 0.48%. Yeah. Kind of what we got rocking. let's take a look at some stuff here. Number one, SMCI. Now, this dipped a little bit and came right back up, which is pretty nice. The earnings was not great, but people seem to like it. Now, there are some larger banks talking about NVIDIA being the comeback play. If we take a look, I'm going to go just on a larger scale here. You know, this gap down here really is high volume, right? Same thing with NVIDIA. Let's take a look. It's a movement down on some pretty significant volume, right? Not significant, but higher than average. And you're getting this movement up today, and it is on lighter volume as well. I think there's a lot of people saying, hey, look, this got sold off, let's get back in it, and it's not getting that interest, at least today, right? Again, I think a lot of this has to do with what's going to go on with the financials tomorrow. We'll go back to SMCI. So again, if you remember, this kind of sank pretty heavily here. It sank 20% in the trading session. Despite the pullback, the stock is still up about 70% a year. For its fiscal fourth quarter, Supermicro saw its revenue surge 143% to $5.31 billion, which is pretty much in line with what analysts had expected. Its earnings per share of $6.25 fell well short of expectations of $8.07 due to the gross margin pressure the company experienced in the quarter. Surge generating heat. I mean, really, in this realm, I think if you want to get into something like this now, take a look at Taiwan Semiconductor. The more that news comes out about, you know, what's going on in the AI sphere and these server spheres and everything like that, TSMC seems so well positioned, right? I mean, they could still raise their margins, right? They can still raise the price of their goods if they have some issues with their margins. You have people, obviously, NVIDIA using them as a foundry. You have even Intel, that company, in some capacities having TSMC build some of their chips. This is pretty insane, right? Anyways, NVIDIA itself is also up. I think this is just a little jump, things selling off. Everyone's like, now is the time to get in. Probably around some news of larger institutions buying into it, but this is on low volume. And what I expect probably, you know, again for this week is just a movement sideways, and then we're going to retest some high volume lows and some stuff. Let's take a look at Barrick Gold. So they have earnings tomorrow. I mean, this is a huge bar up on some pretty good volume as well. They're also eyeing opportunities in Canada. So this expansion is good as well. Let's take a look here. Barrick Gold is the #2 bullion producer. It's looking for investment opportunities in Canada as prices for the precious metal push higher. The CEO, Mark Bristow, said he's cautious about embarking on major deals, but is keeping an eye out for opportunities in the company's home country. He says this is a good jurisdiction to invest in. If there's one place we look all the time, it's Canada. Soaring gold prices are driving producers to seek expansion through takeovers in stable jurisdictions. Goldfields 1.6, so this is another one as well. You have Goldfields had an expansion of $1.6 billion deal to buy Osisko Mining. That was announced today as well. Pretty nice. Goldfields is South African, so they're getting some exposure to Canada. And if Barrick's looking into that, that might be an interesting idea. Folks, stay tuned. We'll be right back with Steve Rhodes.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstad releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
The stock market is a delicate, interconnecting web of commodities, equities, and trader psychology. When one string of the web is pulled, it has a ripple effect across the broader market. This is where opportunity lies. But how are you to gather all of this information into one cohesive model when you're already spending your energy looking for any possible trade opportunities? Luckily, you don't have to worry about that, as Tom O'Brien has brought all important market news to you in one single newsletter, Market Insights. Market Insights provides a daily overview of what's happening in the indexes, bonds, gold, and more. Follow along with Tom daily as he analyzes the components that affect the overall movement of the stock market, giving insight into how each one plays either a bullish or bearish role. Tom also analyzes specific equities that he believes has the potential to make huge returns, and his track record proves his analysis right. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Don't let the market leave you in the dust.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Jacob Shoup filling in for Tom O'Brien. Take a look over here at TFNN.com. We're going to go over here to the newsletters tab and take a look at that first row. We have the Mastering Probability newsletter by Steve Rhodes. Now, this is a fantastic newsletter, and I sing its praises often when I'm on here interviewing Steve. It is very in-depth. There's a lot to dig into. It just covers a lot. So if you're looking for something like that, this is the newsletter that you should try. Now, if it's your first time subscribing and for whatever reason it doesn't work out for you, we have a 30-day money-back guarantee on all of our newsletters here at TFNN.com. Steve Rhodes, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Jacob, yourself?
I'm doing well. How did you guys fare with the storm that we had? Did it hit you at all?
Not really, which was kind of nice. It was what's good about the storms, folks, for us on the East Coast is when they start coming in through the Gulf, which is what this one did. It sucks up all the humidity. Not all the humidity. You can never do that in Florida, but certainly sucked up a lot of it. So it's pretty pleasant. But, there's another storm brewing. I'm sure of that. And there's a storm brewing in the markets.
That's right.
If we take a look at oil's performance today, gold's performance today, and silver's performance today, I would say that traders are preparing for some type of international event. Something over in Israel. Or what have you. So we'll see. I mean, to me, that's the most logical thing. There's not a significant movement in the dollar or anything along those lines. So I put up that this really wasn't a part of the presentation, but as I was listening to you during that first segment, I figured, why don't we take a look at gold and see what it's doing? Because the upper left-hand portion, Jacob, is the daily time frame for the December contract, and the blue lines are profile levels. So, and then we've got a rising green lines and a descending yellow line. That's our rising and falling price channel. So we can see that price is pretty close to a potential resistance level, that little falling price line. If price gets up above that, and if somebody were to say, well, what is it? I'd say it's probably about $25.15. So if we see another $5, if gold is able to close above that, it should make a run for $25.37.70. That is the top of that daily profile. And we can see on a weekly time frame that $25.16 is the top of its profile as well. So our resistance band for gold is going to be between $25.16 and $25.37. If we close above $25.37, it's probably that larger A to B equals CD pattern that gets us up to about $27.16. That's a quarterly time frame chart, and the A to B equals CD pattern shown in the bottom right. So I thought I would just share that with everyone. We're right up near resistance. This is not a time to really buy, but it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Any questions about this chart?
No. Keep going.
Perfect. So let's do this here. Let's do, oh, shoot, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do slideshow from beginning. All right, we'll skip the blank chart. So what I thought we would do is take a look at the September is a pivotal month, typically. And the question is, will this September also be a pivotal month? Now, this, Jacob, this is the 127-year seasonal cycle for the Dow. And I say it says to us, beware of September. How does Stevie come up with that? Well, first, if you just look at the very bottom right panel, it shows you the average return by month. So we can see here that February is a weak month, typically over 127-year cycle. May is typically a weak month, but September is the weak month of them all. That's the mother lode, and we're coming into September. Here's the seasonal cycle. You can see that price would basically rally up into the first week of September and then make a move and either make a bottom at the end of September or mid-October. That's the typical 127-year seasonal cycle. Now, somebody might be saying to themselves, Stevie, 127 years, that's a lot of information. Like you said, the newsletter includes a lot of information.
That's right.
And I would say you're right. But okay, so just to entertain that thought, let's go from 127 years. Let's back it off 100 years, basically. So let's just go down to a 25-year seasonal cycle. And this, too, if you go right to the bottom right, over the last 25 years, suggests we've had problems in January, February, May, and June, and August, month we're in, but September is the worst of them all. And so here you can see that perhaps over the last 25 years, it's been more of a sideways-ish type consolidation before it really takes off to the downside into September. That's the 25-year cycle. Now, for those folks that are saying, Stevie, 25 years is still too much time, well, then we go and take a look at the 10-year cycle. Now, in this 10-year seasonal cycle, it also says beware of September. So that's for February, March, August, but September is absolutely the worst performing month, you can see. But the other thing that I wanted to point out is that September can also be a bottom. In fact, over the course of the last 10 years, the bottom comes in September, not in October. So what does that mean? Well, if we take a look at the most famous top for September tops, it's going to be the 1929 top. These blue lines represent September, either tops or bottoms out there. And that's the interesting thing, because when we took a look at seasonal cycle, it's very easy, Jake, to look at that and say, boy, September is just going to be a top, but not necessarily, where's the bottom? The red rectangles here show different bottoms that actually form. Now, this is going back to 1897. All right. So, this just takes us from 1897 to about 34, but I pretty much stopped in 1929 out there. So September can be a month where we see a significant top or a significant bottom. And I think that's a very likely outcome in the market that we're currently in. Jacob, these are referred to as primary trading range lines, these horizontal lines out here. I refer to them as just simply horizontal trading ranges. Bud Rolfs, who used to be with TFNN decades ago, was the one that, to my knowledge, created these horizontal lines. And what he did was he identified the largest number of co-located opens or closes of the body of a candle. So it didn't matter whether it was an open or a close. And then now my system, I automated the system so it picks out exactly where those horizontal trading ranges should be. Once you identify the largest number of co-located opens and closes, that's going to give you your range then once you figure out that initial range, you just add that same dollar value, and that's why all this looks pretty equal. Well, if we take a look at the month of August, we're just trading in between the trading range between 38, 325 and 41, 435. So nothing is broken here. Now we can take that same monthly data, this is a monthly chart we're looking at, and we can put in the rising price channels for the Dow. And as we take a look at this, there's also nothing that's been broken here. I won't go into the details on how this is calculated out there. This is an A to B equals CD pattern for the Dow coming off of the 2020 low out here. And so nothing has been broken. This suggests over time that we should expect the Dow to get up to 47,399. I remember the day, and I was back in Clearwater, and I did the charts, and we took a look at A to B equals CD patterns and so forth, and it came up with a 40,000 number. And I got a number of cards and letters saying, you're crazy. Well, we're at 40,000. So there's no reason for us not to get to 47,000, at least 47,000, and finish off that A to B equals CD. Now, this is the chart that's got all of the decorations on it that we just took a look at in case, some people like to take snapshots of the window in Tiger TV or what have you. This chart here for the Dow shows us consecutive, this is a daily time frame chart, consecutive higher and lower closes. The black digits are higher, the red digits are lower. Friday was bar number 2 of consecutive moves higher. We're trading lower today. That's pretty typical if we are in a bear market that you'd only get 2-bar rallies. And we can see that since the high that came in, we've had a couple, 1, 2, 3 different 2-bar rallies and then prices move lower. The one thing that I point out about today's chart is we haven't taken out yesterday's high or Friday's high or Friday's low out there. So it's not giving us a clear signal of what its next intent is out there. So I just encourage people, try mastering probability. I will guide you through this September, this critical time period, because there should be an excellent trade setup. Is the market going to move higher into September or lower into September? And that should provide a pretty significant return.
Fantastic as always. Steve, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time.
You bet. Take care.
Stay right there, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the Opening Call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening Call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The consistency you're looking for is closer than you think. 1 or 2 adjustments are usually all you need to change your equity curve from red to green and keep it there. Come join Larry Pesavento live to learn what separates the winners from the losers. Join Larry Pesavento on the 2nd and 4th Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, where Larry will show you the market setting up and, most important of all, the state of mind of a winning trader. By watching Larry trade, you'll learn the Fibonacci levels, you'll learn how to apply A to B to C to D trading patterns, you'll learn trade management, pattern recognition, and much more. Join Larry Pesavento Friday, July 12th and Friday, July 26th, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern Time for 3 hours of live trading. For this month only, use promo code LarryJuly24 at checkout to save $50 on your first month's subscription. For all the information and to reserve your spot today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Tom O'Brien Show is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. Jacob Shoup filling in for Tom O'Brien. Yeah, we were just joined by Steve Rhodes. Now, if you wait till after the show, we're going to have an archive of that, a little clip of that segment, up on our YouTube channel, which is TFNN, Tiger Financial News Network. Make sure, if you want to check that out, to give it a like and give us a subscribe as well to the channel, because it helps us out immensely. And as you kind of saw, Steve really gets into the nitty-gritty. I mean, we're talking about data going back to 1897. I didn't even realize you could get data that far back, but that is really, that really encapsulates what mastering probability is. And so I really recommend, if you've never checked it out before, that you do so. Again, if for whatever reason it doesn't work out for you, you get a 30-day money-back guarantee that goes for all of our newsletters. Additionally, Steve Rhodes is on at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and you give him a call at 877-927-6648, and you can ask him any question you want, and it's a great time. He's very good at answering listener questions. It's always enjoyable to listen to that show. So, turns out that I don't know what it was. Wonky data, or I read the chart wrong or something, but Barrick did come out with their earnings. So let's just dive into that a little bit, okay? So their second quarter adjusted earnings beat estimates as gold prices rose, and the gold producer said its first half performance puts it on track to meet its goals for the full year. The adjusted earnings were $557 million, or 32 cents per share. This beat estimates after accounting for over $180 million related to tax assessments in Chile and other costs. Revenue at $3.16 billion, missed expectations. Net income before adjustments at $370 million, or 21 cents per share, also fell short of estimates compiled by Visible Alpha. Like all the gold miners, Barrick has benefited from higher gold prices, which hit a number of record highs. Of course, in February, they had a stock buyback program, which doesn't hurt either if you're looking to invest in a company. Yeah. So that's how they were doing today. Okay, we have Kickoff as well. They got acquired, I believe, by some portion of Bank of Nova Scotia, which is an interesting movement in. Wow, look at that move up. Let's see if I can get the story on that for us real quick. How about that? Especially having the Canadian bank get into America, and picking Kickoff is kind of interesting. Give me 1 second to look this up. There we go. $2.8 billion stake. All right, so let's look at that. So Bank of Nova Scotia has agreed to invest $2.8 billion in Kickoff, positioning itself for new commercial opportunities, strengthening its foothold in the U.S. market. Transaction provides attractive near-term returns. Okay. So Kickoff operates about 1,000 branches across 15 states and has $187 billion in assets. Pretty interesting. Scotiabank is paying $17.17 a share to acquire ownership stake. In Kickoff, it's 2 stages, still below what they're paying right there. Very nice. Starting with an initial 4.9% stake at the end of August. The second part of the investment is expected to complete after receiving approval. So what were they paying? I mean, they're paying it still at a premium, right? I mean, it's only $15.91. But I mean, they're paying for that probably around 14. I mean, it looks like relatively an average here around like that 14.50 area. So that's kind of nice for Kickoff in general. Kickoff estimates that the investment will bolster its common equity tier 1 capital ratio by 195 basis points. There you go. Nice. So another thing on this kind of thing, this is more to do with banks, right? I've been seeing this chart going around the internet, and so you might see it as well, right? I just want to talk about it for a little bit. This is from Anchor Capital. I'm not familiar with this group. But the big, obviously, scary thing, or what they're trying to say is scary, are these unrealized losses on investment securities, right? What these, I mean, this looks bad, right? They say it here as well. History tells us significant unrealized losses can be precursor for bank failures. Bank instability can spread out to other financial entities, further destabilizing the market. I'm not sure what Anchor's angle is on this. A lot of these, I mean, especially the blue, is held to maturity securities. I mean, these are going to be like 20 and 30-year bonds, right? So as long as there's not, and I've been seeing this everywhere, like, oh my God, it's over, right? And, I would say as long as there's not a massive like liquidity demand or crunch, I would suppose, from any of the banks, this isn't necessarily a big deal. And why I say this is why it's important that companies, like TFNN exist and stuff like that, because You can see all these charts, and people have all these different angles they're trying to throw at you for different reasons, right? But, what I love about the hosts that we have on here is I listen to nearly every show, right? As much as I can if I'm not doing other work for the company. And I just learn so much, You can see these random things thrown out on like Reddit or Twitter or whatever. And this looks scary if it's not kind of explained what's necessarily going on, right? Especially when you have bullet points like this could be a precursor to bank failures, which obviously causes its own problem in the psyche of traders. Anyways, I just thought that was interesting because I've been seeing it going around. So it's always important to kind of understand, what is meant by these charts and then what the people are trying to tell you, right? Or rather why they're trying to tell you certain things like this. But anyways, we can move on a little bit as well from that. Let's take a look at Starbucks. Up 2 point, you had a nice high, but it's coming back down a little bit. So they have activists, a Starboard Value takes stake in Starbucks. Activist investor Starboard Value has taken a stake in Starbucks and wants the coffee giant to take steps to boost its stock price, according to people familiar with the matter. The size of the hedge fund's stake and its exact demands aren't readily apparent. Starboard's arrival comes as Starbucks is in talks to strike a settlement agreement with another activist, Elliott Investment Management. The Wall Street Journal reported that Elliott had built sizable position in the Seattle company and was quietly pushing it to make changes. If Elliott doesn't gain representation on the Starbucks board, it is possible that the activist will pivot to launching a proxy battle for board seats. It isn't clear whether or not Starboard could also an eye seat management. Interesting. Sales in the Starbucks key U.S. and China markets have slumped, prompting the chain to cut its financial guidance twice this year. The company's stock is down around 20% so far in 2024. Another one coffee chain that's kind of making some big moves is Dutch Bros. We don't have these in Florida at all. What the heck happened? Look at that. See, this is like these stocks get like memed almost. You know what I mean? I don't know if you can see this on the chart. It looks like it might be a little oversized for like the YouTube. But if you like look over here, let me see if I can switch it. There we go. This is a massive drop. They had earnings that came out, right? And people were very happy about them. I believe they came out right around this time. And you still saw expansion, but you saw a contraction in that growth of the company. People were loving this stock in a major way, and you could see the hype getting around there. But again, not on too intense of volume. And we come back down, and we are literally testing that launch area. Impressive. Wow, what a move for that stock. Folks, stay right there. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Tom O'Brien.
Welcome back, folks. Jacob Shoup filling in for Tom O'Brien. This is the last long segment. I was taking a look at Dutch Bros, which is this kind of new like coffee stand startup that's going on, right? And you had this massive hype surrounding it, which is really what I believe you're seeing around here. You know, if you took a look at this, right, say, okay, that's some interesting volume, right? If you just looked here at this gap up. But as time keeps going on, you keep moving up and up and up with significantly less volume, and then we smack it here. Now, a lot of this probably has to do with fundamentals as well. Of course, they had, as I was saying before we went to the break, they had their earnings report. Now, the company was still growing, but this growing was contracting a little bit. That might be the case for a while, especially when you're looking at a company with a PE of 107 that's now contracting in growth. Okay, that makes people pause a little bit, right? I mean, now this is a pretty huge reaction to that, right? I didn't know exactly what people buying in this area were thinking, that if they were going to continue to expand at a quicker rate. I mean, what was the number they were looking at? Yeah, so the stock had a company guiding for the low end of its 150 to 165 new shops. So probably 150 opening for 2024. Obviously, when you get that kind of contraction again in a growth company, it scares people, I would guess, is what's going on with that. But quite a move down. I had not seen it get buffed down like that. Pretty interesting. All right, talk a little bit about Goldfields as well. Yeah, so they're off about 4.19%. Of course, they're buying, so that kind of tends to happen. But Goldfields is set to buy Osisko Mining for $1.57 billion. Under the deal, Goldfields is offering $4.90. It's called them loonies. Blew my mind too. When I was in Toronto, they called the $2 bill the toonies. I mean, they're coins, but I mean, it's kind of funny, I guess, right? Anyways, in cash for each Osisko share, the price is a 67% premium to the stock's closing price of $2.94 Canadian on Friday. Throughout the joint ownership of the project since May 2023 and the due diligence that preceded it, we've developed a strong understanding of Windfall and its potential and view it as the next long-life cornerstone asset in our portfolio. This is what CEO Mike Fraser said on Monday. Windfall is is among the largest gold deposit in Canada. The site is expected to produce around 300,000 ounces of gold a year at an all-in sustaining cost of $758 an ounce. Whoa. It currently has projected mine life of 10 years with potential for extension. You know, it would be really cool to interview, you know, like someone in gold or like a CEO or something like that. And Tom does that. I mean, we have Fred Ernest of Vista on and everything. And just to really see, you know, what costs occur, right? I mean, at $758 an ounce, I mean, you're trading at a forward here on the contract of 2,511. I mean, it would just be interesting to see like why they sell, when they start producing more. And I know that Fred and Tom have spoken about that a little bit. So if you go to our YouTube channel after the show today, you can type in Tom O'Brien, Fred Ernest, and check that out. Of course, Fred Ernest is the CEO of Vista Gold. Very interesting nonetheless. Earlier this year, the gold miner achieved its first production at its key project, Salares Norte in Chile, which is set to add 485,000 ounces a year once fully operational. So, I mean, this stock is definitely moving at least. The company itself is moving. Very interesting. 1479. Right now, Goldfields is trading at. Take a look quickly at Palantir, kind of off today. I think this market still has some volatility in it, which is why you're seeing these this dip, this blow dip down, coming right back up to 31.20. Now we're moving down a little bit on that again. Not a lot of volume going on. Of course, they're going to be working with Microsoft because Microsoft has this deal to use secure Azure networks for the military. So this is cool. Apparently as well, Lignex One, which is a South Korean defense contractor, is now partnering with Palantir to develop advanced weapon systems, AWSs, using the big data. The collaboration formalized through a memorandum of understanding will utilize Palantir's data management platform to enhance LIG Next One's capabilities in unmanned systems, satellite tech, mine clearance, electronic warfare. So what LIG Next One really does is it creates, those Boston Dynamic dogs? They have Boston Dynamic dogs and they put anti-material rifles on the top of the things, which is insanely sketchy, but it is the future, no doubt. I mean, you're even seeing in Ukraine and Russia how it's really almost like a platform war in a sense, right? Certainly with like these $1,000 unmanned drones that are taking out $16 million helicopters. This future is all platform, and it has been platform for a while, but now we're going into autonomous platforms. Very unique. And again, speaking about Palantir in such a major way, I just think it's very interesting. I was talking to someone after, maybe on Saturday or something like that, but again, it's this whole concept of like, oh, these LLMs, I mean, this is like what's going to take over. This is, the end. And it's not really the large language models that matter, right? I mean, the large language model is just going to be the human interface for the rest of this network. What matters is companies that are building the connections between different AI tools, right? I mean, that's why they call it Skynet, right? I mean, it's not Sky individual thing, right? I mean, it's a network. So Palantir does the same kind of concept, right? And Anduril does as well with their lattice system. It's a shame that Anduril isn't public because that would be a really interesting company. They're getting a lot of bids at the border, but what they do is actually kind of neat is kind of like edge computing and stuff like that. And whatever the object is that computes, let's say like it's on a border wall or something, can communicate via lattice to other kind of tools in their suite. This is very interesting, right? So no longer is it going to be kind of this outsourced stuff, right? It's going to be these singular companies that are developing a suite of tools and then a program that allows these things to communicate with each other. And then you'll have something like an LLM, like a chat GPT, that'll be able to interface with the consumer themselves. That's what I mean. Like the chat GPT is not anything, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, it's very interesting. I mean, generative AI is cool, but the real kicker is what's gonna connect all that stuff together. And that's why I think Palantir is interesting, right? And again, you have this like low volume kind of deal. They don't talk about much. Karp's an interesting character, but still kind of unique. And again, I would always say whenever I bring up something that I'm talking about that I find interesting, like always do due diligence on it, right? This is not me saying, go ahead and get this stock, because I'm absolutely not saying that. I just think this kind of new cutting edge stuff is so interesting. And I think the winners of the future are the ones that are doing super interesting and risky stuff in this moment right now. It's kind of neat. But yeah, so Palantir trading at 29.42, off about 2% today. That just tends to be somewhat of a volatile stock anyways. Folks, stay right there. We'll be right back for a short segment.
stock market is a delicate interconnecting web of commodities, equities, and trader psychology. When one string of the web is pulled, it has a ripple effect across the broader market. This is where opportunity lies. But how are you to gather all of this information into one cohesive model when you're already spending your energy looking for any possible trade opportunities? Luckily, you don't have to worry about that, as Tom O'Brien has brought all important market news to you in one single newsletter, Market Insights. Market Insights provides a daily overview of what's happening in the indexes, bonds, gold, and more. Follow along with Tom daily as he analyzes the components that affect the overall movement of the stock market, giving insight into how each one plays either a bullish or bearish role. Tom also analyzes specific equities that he believes has the potential to make huge returns, and his track record proves his analysis right. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Don't let the market leave you in the dust.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. Jacob Shoup filling in for Tom O'Brien. We just have a short segment here before the end of the show. Take a look at the E-mini right now. It seems like we're just forming about 4 bars down there, continuing red, but every now and then you just get this random counter trend move, at least in the daily, and so we'll see kind of what happens. That'll give us maybe a better understanding what's going to happen the rest of the week as well. And then, of course, we have inflation reports. Let's take a look quickly. I always get a kick out of this ticker for some reason, but this is Truth Social, I guess, Trump Media, right? Look here, year to date. Wow, what a crazy chart. That's like Mr. Bones' wild ride right there. That's insane. So let's take a look here. Reports a $16 million loss for the quarter as revenues fall. On Friday, they reported a net loss of more than $16 million for the most recent financial quarter. Its meager revenue fell 30% to just $836,900. The stock price of Trump Media, which trades under DJT, has fallen sharply from the high of more than $71 per share shortly after it began publicly trading in March. The 10Q filing, Trump Media reports, same loss, compared to a $22.8 million loss, so at least they're losing less. Check this. The company incurred $3.1 million of IT consulting and software licensing expenses, primarily related to its software licensing agreement to power its new TV streaming service. What the heck is that about? Trump media said it ended the quarter with $344 million in cash and cash equivalents with no debt. And then it's weird as well, kind of. I wonder if, like, the function of Trump media is kind of, or the Truth Social is kind of not as potent anymore since you have Musk in charge of X. I think Trump is speaking later tonight on X as well, with Elon Musk interviewing him. So, you know, I kind of wonder, I mean, I understood the political conversation, right? Being like, there's too much censorship, so we're going to make Truth Social. That seems to not be the case anymore with X. I'm not really sure how that pans out for this stock anyways. But folks, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you all had a great day. I hope you have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. with Tommy O'Brien. Take care.
Building wealth